Well, here in the studios, we've got Professor Femi Otobanjo, who is a public policy analyst. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know any right-thinking person who is not tired of these killings. But the way it is, much as they say, yes, they're trying to do a thing or several things to see that they bring this to an end. But from your position, from what you've seen, how do you assess how we are addressing this challenge?
Well, obviously, the efforts have been faint, have been half-hearted and haphazard. What we find, we started the Buhari regime with the idea of body language. The body language that we see is not that of discouragement or a willingness to punish these perpetrators. Because of that, we now find this dysfunctional situation in which the ID was supposed to be in Benue is in Plateau. Of course, maybe he knows one or two things that we don't know, that it's not expected to stop the killings. The reality is that who are the herdsmen? We talk about herdsmen. Are they terrorists? Are they militants? What are they? Where are they? They must be somewhere. I mean, they are killing people and going back somewhere. And in the case of Boko Haram, we have sent troops to confront them. These people are doing the same thing. They are killing civilians, and they are not being confronted by anybody. So the other point is that who are they? We have been told that they are basically armed by cattle owners.
Yeah, but can we say that they are not being confronted? Because we've had Operation Cicatrice or Cat Dance, and then we had them say, well, police, some of the mobile policemen have been killed by the same people. So yes. Can we really say that they're not being confronted?
Well, do you know that we were confronting Boko Haram at a stage? People went there, but it was haphazard. It was half-hearted. I mean, there's confrontation and there's confrontation. I mean, I cannot imagine that the herdsmen have the same numerical strength as Boko Haram. I'm not sure they are that far-flung that they cannot be isolated, that they cannot be identified, they cannot be contained.
One thing they've been identified for is being the fifth most deadly group of terrorists, or should I say, a group that is out there to just kill and maim people.
Yeah.
But if we look at the security architecture, if Operation Safe Haven, that was meant to protect the people in Plateau State, yes, and Operation Cat Race in the Middle Belt area, including Benue State and Taraba State, if those structures are not working, what do we do?
No, the central point is who are the herdsmen who are doing this killing? Who is arming them? Who is giving them oxygen? Who is encouraging them? What are they looking for? Because if you are a real herdsman and you go and kill a whole village, you cannot take your cows to go and feed in that place. If the whole purpose is to appropriate feeding grounds for your cattle, can you do that by killing the villagers? Are you going to be able to go back there to use those fields? So there's something here that we do not understand. What is their mission? So we've seen social media videos of people being armed with AK-47 and their militants. Do they have a different mission from, is there some historical vendetta that is at play? Because we are talking about the middle of Nigeria, which has traditionally been a conflict area among different tribes.
Do you think we should strengthen, for instance, do you think
the stability is a very fragile environment in terms of ethnic relations?
Because I'm asking you this because it does seem that if the military architecture, or should I say security apparatus that has been set in those places to try to contain this violence, and then the violence still persists, what should be done if this deployment of security architecture seems to be failing?
It's not failing.
It's not failing.
I do not think it's failing. I don't think it's been properly or fully deployed. I mean, it's unlikely to fail. Even with Boko Haram, we are not failing. And that's a more vicious, more connected organization. So unless we are saying that the herdsmen are a branch of Boko Haram, but you see, it would have to do what is needed to identify who you are dealing with. If you are dealing with agents or powerful people, if people have armed their herdsmen with guns, you need to identify those owners of cows who are protecting their cows with armed men. You need to get them to withdraw those weapons from the herdsmen. We see herdsmen everywhere. They are still around in Lagos area. They are around in Ogun State. They are not carrying guns. They are still moving. I still saw a group of herdsmen around Lekki yesterday.
So it would be right to
to
tag them criminals.
So
it would be right to tag them criminals.
Well, I'm not so sure, because criminals will just go and kill randomly. These are elements of some insurgency that we do not yet understand. We are talking of ethnic warfare.
Okay, so
yes.
Mr. Dati, the spokesperson on the phone, talked about a dialogue that's been going on. He says that's one of the things that has helped to sustain the peace. Do you think this should be engaged on a wider scale? And what kind of fruit are we expecting to see?
No, but Plato had his own, particularly the Jos area, had his own challenges before, and it was resolved on the basis of communal dialogue. But I'm not sure that's the kind of people he's talking about. Is he having a dialogue with the herdsmen? You need to. The herdsmen operate under an association called Miyatiara. Are they involved in all this? Are you having an effective dialogue with them? Because they should be able to contain this. It's not just security. If these people are real herdsmen, then you have an association, an umbrella association of herdsmen. Why can't you talk to them to call back?
But I think in